Hello, I'm John McNerney. I'm owner of Yukon Forge. So Yukon Forge is you could say it's a tool company. You could say it's a horseshoeing company. You could say it's a blacksmith shop, but I think it's all of that, right? So it's a company I started with the idea to make stuff, right? So I started off as a horseshoer. Once I figured out the name for my company, I just went right with it and started shoeing horses and making stuff, and I like making stuff. As a blacksmith, I always think about like, well, what's cool to make, or what's my favorite thing to make. And for me, it's kind of like, what's the newest, tougher project. You gotta hit it, dude. Thank you. All right, so I got a lot of ADHD, but so I like going from one thing. Once I get it figured out, I'm like, oh, whatever's new is the newest, coolest project, right? But yep. I very much enjoy the traditional blacksmithing, whether it be shoemaking or architectural blacksmithing, to fabricating, to knife making, tool making. I just like making stuff. I feel like I'm a maker. I love making. It's what makes me happy. And whatever project I'm working on, it's usually my favorite project.
My name is Brady Davis. We are in Milliken, Colorado right now at Yukon Forge. We are here because we, Flying V, wanted to design and come up with the most custom, perfectly awesome bird cleaning knife that we thought we wanted and we needed, and it didn't exist. And so we got in touch with John McNerney, who's the owner of Yukon Forge, went through a bunch of designs, drawings, and prototypes, and again, designed what we think is the best knife for cleaning waterfowl and upland birds that is on the market right now. And so we're down here forging those, building those.
I would say, why am I excited about the collaboration between the two companies? I get to make a knife that people are going to use, that it's exciting, it's new, and the fact that there really isn't a knife out there on the market for waterfowl. I'm like, this is the first one coming out, and to be a first, like, we can make stuff over and over again, and it kind of gets like, okay, cool, I'm going to be the best that I can be at making a hammer. Well, a hammer was figured out a long time ago, but yeah, a knife has been figured out. But a specific knife, a specific tool for something, if it's the first on, man, that's a cool deal.
There's a lot of knife makers out there. So years ago, I actually lived here in Colorado for 9 years. And when I was here, I had been a horseshoer before, but I wanted to get into the forging side of it. I wanted to increase my skill as a farrier, but I definitely wanted to learn the forging and blacksmithing side of it. I found out that John lived here, and at the time, John was the top of the game. He was, on the American Farriers team. He was traveling the world in forging, horseshoeing, and blacksmithing competitions. I knew I wanted to learn that skill, so I just decided to go to the guy who knows better than everybody and basically begged him to let me come and be his apprentice.
When Brady came in, I was mean, and I did not give him an inch. And I told him, he's like, you want to run with me, man, you better start running. Once I realized Brady wasn't going to be kicked out of the shop, and he kept coming back and he kept trying, which was how I did it, right? So I saw a little bit of me in that. And I'm like, all right, this guy is worth the time and effort. I mean, I told him to show up at the shop at 4 o'clock in the morning, get the fire going, and then start making shoes before I even came out. And he would do it. Like that's some try, right?
There was a few times he just came in, looked at it, and was like, nope, this isn't good, go home. And so I would literally just get back in my truck at 5:01 a.m. and drive back to my house. But it was a great learning experience, right? I learned a ton, got better and better and better, and eventually I could complete the assignments and the tasks. In the blacksmithing and horseshoeing world, the truth is apprentices don't really get paid. You're there to learn. You're there to I was gaining more value from John in the knowledge and the education and the experience. Yeah, it was a fun time in life for sure. This is truly a collaboration between us. While John is the maker, we were able to come on this trip, spend some time, and forge out some really nice knives together. Again, kind of a trip down memory lane for me. It was a lot of fun to reconnect and get back in the fire together. But this knife is a true collaboration between Yukon Forge and Flying V.
When we found out that we were going to be making a custom knife for Flying V, my first thought was we got to use this 440C stainless. And then once I saw what design that we were going to make, when we said, all right, hey, we want this specific knife just for waterfowl hunting and goose hunting. And after we talked about it and worked on it, and we were able to set up a couple prototypes, they started getting kind of exciting, and didn't really realize that there wasn't a goose hunting waterfowl knife out there. And then we came up with the idea, like, we're going to use G10, which is super tough. 440C stainless is super tough. They can make it really hard. We can get a really cool edge on it. We can put some bling on it and put some old school leather. It just became, it is an exciting project. So it's kind of a neat thing because it's in the hunting world. It's in goose hunting and duck hunting, and it's a part of me and my old school, my horseshoeing roots. And it's got some new stuff in there. Like we're going to be utilizing every tool in the shop to make this thing. So it's very exciting.
In addition to the knives, all of our knives are going to be in a leather sheath. One thing that is really cool is John McNerney's son, Wyatt McNerney. He's 16 years old. He's been apprenticing as a leather, maker, and he's done tooling and carving and building all kinds of neat things out of leather. It was really fun to learn that when we first started talking about this project with John, because we saw that father can make the knife, son can make the sheath. And this is truly a McNerney family, craft from the start to finish.
The kid's a maker. I keep telling him he's an unbelievable maker. He's got more talent than I do, and he just goes after it. So he sees these sheaths, he sees his style, and he sees it in his head, and he can just start making it. And I like to say, like, hey, I'm a maker, and so is my kid. If you're a maker and you have an opportunity to make something to get in front of other people where they can see your creations, and then to be able to do that with a good buddy, and to be in something exciting as goose hunting and duck hunting, and be a part of all that. And it's like what a maker lives for, right?
We are mega proud to have this out, to have it out to the market. And hopefully we start to see this shift where waterfowlers use this knife, use it hard, use it a lot, and then they can pass it down to their kids, and their kids can pass it down to their kids, because waterfowl hunting is a sport of tradition and heritage and history. People pass down shotguns, people collect old decoys, but the knife piece has always been missing. Nobody has done that in waterfowl. We think knives are really cool. They're very useful. It's a tool we use a lot. And we want to bring that heritage, that culture, and that history into our sport of waterfowl hunting and bird hunting in general, upland hunting as well. And I truly can't think of anybody better to do it than John McNerney at Yukon Forge.